Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dare to Care with Michelle, the place where we learn not just how to care, but why to care. With us today is my very good friend, Alyssa. Alyssa was born with cerebral palsy, but does not let her disability slow her down. Instead, she uses it as a platform to advocate and educate. As a former patient of the Shriners Hospital for Children, Canada, in Montreal, she has overcome her share of obstacles, has had many surgical procedures, and has shared her story of perseverance through her role as a patient ambassador for the hospital. A former Miss Canada, Alyssa has traveled throughout the US and Canada, sharing her story, spreading awareness, and advocating for people with disabilities. Alyssa is a disability advocate. She moved from the US, from Canada to the US, excuse me, more than 3 years ago to pursue a career in nursing after she faced ableism and discrimination while trying to begin her nursing career in Canada. Being a nurse has not been easy, but it was just another obstacle for her to overcome. Today, Alyssa is a registered nurse at a hospital in Vegas where she is respected and valued and is treated as part of the team. She is proof that with hard work, perseverance, and determination, you can achieve anything. Never let others determine your worth. A disability does not define you. You define the disability. Everyone, please welcome my friend Alyssa.
An introduction. Wow.
It's Alyssa is first of all, thank you so much for joining us after working all night. She worked all night, and now here she is interviewing with us and chatting with us. And we're going to talk about her role as a nurse, her role, and then her disability. And you look at this beautiful young lady, you sure don't see somebody with a disability. And so we'll talk about that. So let's start with a couple times at work, Alyssa, you've mentioned to me that you're having a bad body day. What does that mean?
For me, that means like sometimes I can have months and weeks and months without having a fall, and then other times I can fall 5 or 6 times a week. It's nothing that I've done. It's just how my body's tired. I'm sore, my back is sore, my legs are sore. So if I'm having a bad body day, everybody's gonna know it because they're like, you're not moving as fast as you typically would. And that's why. So when that happens, it doesn't happen very often, or I try not to let it happen very often, but it's just part of what I have to deal with, and I just deal with it and move on.
I understand that. That's the only way I realize you're having a bad body day is if you tell me that. So it's not like there's something not right with her today.
I don't think you ever see me fall. So if you would have seen me fall, then
no, I have not.
Yeah,
thankfully.
It doesn't happen very often, thank goodness, but it does happen.
I got you. Why did you become a nurse?
So I've always wanted a career in the healthcare field. I wanted to become a doctor first. I did go to medical school for a year in the Caribbean. They didn't like the fact that I had a disability, and they told me that I was tarnishing their reputation by being a future doctor in their medical school with a disability. So they ended up changing my grades on my final exams from passing grades to failing grades, and then making me write what they called a cumulative exam. Mm-hmm. And then they would, after I wrote that, they would make me like fail it by like 1 or 2 points.
Oh, that's crazy.
They did that for like 3 semesters, and by the 3rd semester, I was like, I'm not giving you any more money. You've taken enough of my money. And then afterwards, I found out that they were trying to get rid of me because they didn't like the fact that I had a disability. So.
Gotcha. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Can you explain to people what your disability is?
That's a loaded question, Michelle. Um, basically, cerebral palsy is the most. It's pretty common. I think it's the most common disability, motor disability in children. I was born with it. I had a seizure when I was born, so that's what they think caused it. Um, but basically, for me, I mean, there's different categories, different severities of it, but for me, it just affects my legs and my balance. My arms, nothing else is affected besides just my legs and my balance. I do have difficulty like stepping off curbs, outside on uneven terrain in the woods or hiking or
Okay.
something like that. Um, but other than that, for me, that's pretty much it.
And I understand that what you're trying to say is that some people are affected differently in different ways. And I took care of a young man in St. Louis who was a severe disability where he was in a wheelchair, and his language was affected.
Yeah.
He was able to say some words, but not many. But he had a board on his wheelchair, and he
Yeah.
talked through that. And he was very intelligent. Like his brain was, there's nothing wrong with his brain.
Yeah.
And he absolutely loved me. He would come to the hospital, and he wouldn't let anybody else start his IV. And he would say,
You were the
Michelle,
one.
Michelle, and
Yeah, that's
put his
cute.
hand out. So I understand that. So you were born this way, and then
Yeah.
you went, you had spent some time at Shriners Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Tell us
So
about that.
I was a patient at the Shriners in Montreal for 20 years. I had um 5 or 6 surgeries. I had a spinal surgery called the selective dorsal rhizotomy. That was the one that that gave me the ability to walk, because before that I wasn't able to walk.
And
I had
explain what is that the heel release?
No, so basically what they did, they cut open my spine, like
Oh,
my whole spine,
right.
um, and they burnt nerves leading to my legs to reduce spasticity in my legs.
Okay.
Because I was like if I still am a little bit, but super duper tight, um, very very spastic, um, and with that surgery, it allowed me to get a heel strike and learn to walk.
Gotcha.
Um, I mean, if it's cold out, or if I'm tired, um, or if I'm nervous about being like stepping off a curb that I have to step off of, I'm like stiff like a board. Like I
Okay.
tighten up like instantly.
Uh-huh.
That's not me. That's not me doing it. That's just my body doing it. That's my body's reaction to that situation. I don't like it. It drives me nuts. But that's just how it is, and I've learned to just deal with it. Um, but yeah, that's basically what happened. They just cut open my spine, and
And
I
then
have a
you had multiple other surgeries.
yeah, I had three foot surgeries,
Okay.
osteochord lengthening and tendon transfer
Right.
on both feet. Um, and I had 2 eye surgeries too, but that I don't think that counts.
Everything counts, sister. Uh, so one of the connections that Alyssa and I have is that I actually worked at a Shriners Hospital in St. Louis around the same time that she was probably going through all of this. But she was in Canada. I was not in Canada. And the Shriners Hospital, what is that like? Tell us a little bit about the Shriners Hospital and what it's like to be there.
Um,
Another
I
loaded question, I know.
You're gonna make me cry. I love that hospital. That hospital um, was like my home away from home for 20 years.
Yeah.
It to me, it wasn't a hospital. It was like I was going home. I was going to see my friends, to see the coworkers. I have so many friends there, and I still talk to them to this day. Um, it's special. You
Yeah.
walk in there, and it's like you're home.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me still. Everybody calls me by name. It's a special
Gotcha.
place.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. The uh, oh shoot, I just lost my brain. There it is. Found it. When I worked at the Shriners Hospital, that was the same. Like the kids that came in, we were friends with them. Like we were looking forward to seeing them again. And there were a few that would come in like every 6 weeks to get the heel release done.
Yeah.
So we were watching, waiting for them, and knowing that they were coming in. It was a lot of fun. It was you're right. It is a home. It's a place that's a home. And it's a great program. The Shriners Hospital has a really fun program. So you've been a nurse in Las Vegas now for how long?
I just did it here actually the end of January, so about a week over a year.
So what was it like working through COVID? Because you were a nurse during COVID when we had craziness going on.
I don't think I was. I did most of my nursing classes were actually done through COVID
So
because
what was that like? Because you couldn't really go into the hospital and do clinicals.
no, so we had all of our classes were done online.
Wow.
And then some of our clinicals were done through like virtual simulation.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end of my nursing school, which would have been like the summer of 2021-ish, I think, that's when COVID kind of eased up and we were allowed to go back into the hospital for clinicals.
Right.
The last semester of nursing school was the first time that we, as a cohort, were all together like in person going to clinicals together. So that was kind of strange and great all at the same time because we never seen each other in person before that. So
Wow.
yeah.
Do you ever feel like you were cheated during that process? Like, like I was best friends with some of my nursing school friends, and I'm still friends with a couple of them, and it's been over
Mhm.
30 years.
Yeah.
You kind of lost that.
Yeah, a little bit. And I mean, for me, the clinical I was looking forward to the most was like OB clinical, and we couldn't do that at all because of the high risk for them. And I was so disappointed that that was the one clinical I was looking so forward to because that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a NICU nurse,
Okay.
and so we didn't do that at all. At all. That whole clinical was simulation. So
Wow.
I kind of felt cheated out of that because I was so looking forward to it, but such is life.
I'm okay with not seeing stuff coming out of people. I'm just saying. So you did start to work originally in Las Vegas in the NICU, correct?
Yeah.
And at another, we'll just say another big hospital, because I don't like that hospital anyway.
Okay.
And thankfully it did not work out there.
Uh-huh.
And you came to me. So I love
Yes,
it.
you found me. You rescued me.
Yay. How, growing up with stuff, and people, my son was born with a heart defect, which is
Uh-huh.
different, than what you have. But people would tell me, oh, I could have never done that. I don't know how you did that. So how did you do this? How do you, growing up, you had to go to school, you were Miss Canada, you're traveling all over the place. How do you do that with what you have going on?
I get that question a lot, and my response is you just do it. Like I
Uh-huh.
just do it. Um, does it suck sometimes? Yes. Do I have bad days? Yeah. But the good days are they far outnumber the bad days.
Gotcha.
So I mean, when I was Miss Canada, I was somewhere different pretty much every 24 hours.
Oh,
I had to be on appearance. I had to do photo shoots. I had to put makeup on. I had to do all that stuff. And I'm not, I'm not that kind of person. Like before I was Miss Canada, I didn't like photo shoots. I didn't like all the attention on me, but I had to get over that real fast and just do it. Um, and even with the ambassador stuff for the hospital, they asked me to do something, and I'm just like, I'm there. It doesn't matter. Like I left medical school for a week to go speak at a conference for the hospital.
That's
Hands
amazing.
down, I just left and I did it. I just do it because I like to do it.
Gotcha.
it's helping other people. So if I can help one other family, another child
Yeah, it's
navigate what I go through, then it's worth it.
I find it just like amazing. Again, you had a choice, and whether you believe it or not, you had a choice, and you could have just gave up. Your parents
Oh,
could have let you
absolutely.
give up, and instead I'm going to be a nurse. Nursing is hard, you guys. Everybody who's on here, who's watching this show with us, I want you to know nursing is hard. It's really hard. It's hard on your body. It's, old nurses like me, we have bad backs, we have bad knees because we're lifting people. We're on our feet 12 hours a day. We are lucky if we get a bathroom break. We're lucky if we get to eat. And someone and Alyssa's there with just another barrier for herself. She does a great job. Alyssa does a great job, but nursing is hard, and it's hard on your body. You could have gone into, you're very, very intelligent. You could have done anything.
It's funny you say that because I had a lot of professors in nursing school tell me, um, I'm not saying that this is true, but they've told me you're too smart to be a bedside nurse. You have to teach. You have to teach nursing. And I was like, I maybe in the future I can teach it, but right now I just want to be a bedside nurse because I know what it's like to be on that side, in the hospital bed, helpless, can't do anything, can't really, um, have to rely on other people for
Right.
for everything. So I just want to be on the other side and provide the care versus being on the receiving end of it. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
that's really amazing. And that's the part of you, that's your patient advocate side we haven't talked about yet. So um what do you feel like on the patient advocate side of your job? Because it's, sometimes doctors don't answer phones, or they order the wrong thing. How do you handle that? You call
Um,
your supervisor and I come.
sometimes, sometimes I do. Um, I don't know. Like I had a patient um not that long ago who had no payments on board,
Wow.
and I don't know. I forget now what he came in for, but he was like, "I need something for pain." They gave me this in the where I came from. Why
Hmm.
can't I have it? I was like, "I'm trying my best to get it for you,
Yeah.
but I can only do so much so fast, and I can't order anything without a doctor's order." Um, so I went back to the doctor, and I went back to the doctor, and I said, "Look, you need to do this. This patient is suffering. It's not right for you to keep this patient in pain. Can I please get something for pain for this patient?" And eventually, they did give it to me. Um, after
Eventually
like
they get tired of being called.
right, right. So they just give me what I want, and then everybody's happy. Um, but yeah, I mean, if I see a patient in pain, if I and they don't have something, then I'm gonna ask them for it. If
Yeah. Do you talk to your patients about your disability? Like when So let's start with something else, and that's you do use an assistive device in the
uh
hospital,
yeah.
which is a cart,
So
which is amazing. I love the cart anyway. So
yeah, so the cart is basically for me to use whenever I have to transport like IV channels, IV anything heavy. If I if I'm going down the hallway and I'm going to see 5 rooms, then I'm gonna take everything I need with me in that one trip on the
gotcha,
cart, put it there so that I can walk out of the room and just cuts down on walking for me. Not so much in the unit that I'm working in now, but in the bigger units, it's a lifesaver. And even the other nurses are like, "Wow, like this is nice. Like we can go to this cart and grab a flush or grab a IV star." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. Isn't it nice? You're welcome."
right? That's
um,
funny.
yeah, so that's basically all that is. It's not like I don't need it to walk or anything. I mean, sometimes if I'm having a bad body day, then I use it to more than I would. But it's typically just there to put supplies on so that I don't have to walk 50,000
Gotcha.
miles.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great. Did you come up with that, or did How did you figure out that a cart would
It was
help?
actually my disability support coordinator at UNLV who said, because one thing I told her was the only thing that I know for sure that I cannot do is carry liquids without a cover on it.
Okay.
And because I'm just gonna spill it. I might not spill it, but the likelihood of me spilling it is very high.
Yeah.
So I said, can we get something so that I can not have that happen? And she's like,
Okay.
well, the easiest thing that I can think of would be a card, and you could use it to put supplies on, etc. And I was like, yeah. I said, I think that would be perfect.
Right.
So I had that for my clinicals at UNLV, and
Uh-huh.
then they got it for me when I was hired. No questions asked.
Right.
But my first day on the job, I had the card, um,
Okay.
and it's been my best friend since.
I thought I was your best friend.
Come on.
Rude. So how do your patients respond to you? There's two parts to this. One is, do they respond negatively? And two, do you talk to them about, I know what it's like? Because like a lot of people go into a room and, especially you're young. So a lot of people your age, they have no idea what it's like to be in the hospital. These
Mhm.
nurses have no idea what it's like to be in a hospital, no idea what it's like to be sick more than a cold or cramps. And you do understand,
Yeah.
and you do are able to feel those feels.
Yeah. So yes, they respond negatively. I had several patients tell me, like, why are you a nurse? You walk weird. And I'm like, I'm taking care of you, aren't I?
Yeah,
Like my
right.
ability to take care of you has nothing to do with the way I walk. Um, just like little like snarky comments, and I'm just like, well, that's fine. You can have your opinion, but I'm gonna do my job just the same, whether you're being mean to me or not.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I've had several patients say like you can't be a nurse because you walk like that, or you what have you.
Right.
Um, and then I have others who are like, wow, like you're have that and you're dealing with that, and you're a nurse, like you're doing a good job, like holy crap. And
Yeah.
then if if I have time, they say like, well, where do you go to school? Where are you from? Like, what's kind of your story? Um, and then they're like, well, like you're educated and you're doing something with your life versus just like sitting there doing nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I I'm like perfectly capable of it. The only thing I need to do my job well is a cart that I put supplies on. So
And you don't take that inside of patients' rooms. That all stays outside.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Very cool, very cool. You said that when you get cold, that your back is more spastic. So moving to Vegas was obviously a good move, besides the fact that you have a boyfriend here and you went to school here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was talking to my parents the other day, and they were just hit with a snowstorm. It was the
Right.
coldest day since 1967. It was minus 68 Fahrenheit.
Oh my God.
Um, so yes.
They haven't moved to Vegas yet. Why?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh
But
my
yeah, I mean,
God.
I moved to Vegas for nursing school and my boyfriend, but the weather is definitely better.
An advantage for sure.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
sure. What advice do you have to give, first of all, people without disability when they're looking at someone who does have a disability of any type?
I would say just be nice and be open-minded. Don't be closed-minded. Like you have no idea what their story is. Um, so if they're willing, just ask them. If they're not comfortable telling you, then they will tell you. But if you ask them, chances are they're going to tell you. If any patient asks me like, "Is your leg broken?" I said, "No, I was actually born like this, and I have a
Okay.
disability, but I'm a nurse and what have you, etc., etc." So just be nice, be open-minded. Don't judge before you don't judge a book by its cover, basically, because I've had that happen so many times. No pun intended.
I know, right? And speaking of books, so Alyssa, this is part of our connection. Alyssa is going to be in the book, the compilation book called Dare to Care. It's healthcare superheroes, and she is a superhero, sharing stories of perseverance, inspiration, and hope. And that will be out my birthday, which is May 31st of 2023, is when that will be released, and it's going to be a heck of a party. We're going to have a nice birthday party, book release
Yes, it
party.
is.
It's going to be so much fun here in Vegas, of course. And yeah, so her chapter is already in, and I've already read it, and it's amazing. It's super. It talks about her whole story, going from nursing or medical school to trying different nursing schools, and then coming to Las Vegas and UNLV, which was actually open-minded and said, yeah, let's do this. You went through school without, other than using a cart, you didn't have any advantages. You weren't trying to cheat the system and get into something. So many people do, people with disabilities, not that they're trying to cheat the system, but they need more support than what you did.
Yes. Mhm.
You, like I said, it's sitting down just talking to you. I wouldn't know that you had a disability, and then you stand up and you walk, and I'm like, okay, she's got a little bit of something going on there.
Yeah.
But like you said, I've never seen you actually fall, so that helps me a little.
Hopefully you never do, but
Yeah, well, we will hope for that.
if
What
I
is
do, I know you'll catch me if you're there.
if I can catch you, I've got you, you've got it, I've got you, the whole thing. That's my title of my personal book, the book that I'm putting out on my own, is I've got you. So just
That's great, by the way.
huh? It's
I
me,
said,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's you've got this and I've got you. And is the title, is my working title right now. So yeah, I have 2 more books coming out this year, of my own, and then I'm in another compilation book with my friend Galit at Ventura Rosen and Angela Giles. So I'm in another compilation book with them. And then I'm going to be in Marilyn's book. Marilyn was another episode of our podcast, and her book is Love Never Ends, and I'm going to be part of that. So I've got 5 books coming out this year.
Yeah, you need to take some more PTO.
I definitely need a little more PTO. PTO, for those of you who don't know it, is paid time off. So, and I take as much of that as I possibly can. What advice do you have for people who are handicapped?
If you want to do something, just do it. Just try it. You're not going to know if you can or can't until you try it. There's no harm in trying. If you can't do it, then at least you tried and you know what your limitations are. If you just give up and say, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to, then that's silly.
I heard the advice I heard for just about anything is, what's the worst, you think, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, I fall down. Well, that's okay. I'll
You just get
survive
back
that.
up.
I mean, what's the worst thing? And it's, like I said, you're fantastic. You're a very good nurse, and I'm excited to watch your career continue to grow, because I only see you going up. I don't see you staying here. I see you going up. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Tell me, let's do a little bit of word association, just a few. What does dare mean to you?
Just go for it. Go
Okay.
for it.
And what does care mean to you?
Love,
Love.
accepting,
Very
acceptance.
nice. So dare to care means go for it. Just go love people.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. You didn't know I was going to do that.
No, you didn't. You
But
caught me off guard with that one.
that's what I like to do. I like to keep you on your toes,
I know
girl.
you did.
And what is handy capable?
uh,
Guys, and my first thought is you.
well, stop. I'm just like anybody else. Like really, anybody with a disability is just like anybody else. You just have to give them a chance to prove what they can do
I love that.
and prove what their abilities are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Oh, your poor boyfriend.
I know. I know.
What's your favorite song?
Oh my God. What's my favorite song? I have so many.
Okay. What's your
Like
favorite song today?
like what kind of song though? Are you talking like a love song, like a work song?
Listening to today? What's your whatever mood you're in today?
I like Celine Dion is my favorite artist, but I also listen to a lot of country. So my playlist is basically Celine and country. Luke Combs, Lady Antebellum,
Gotcha.
everything country.
I love it. I love it. I listen to just about everything. But every once in a while you'll go past my office, you'll hear some country music hitting. It's usually like if I'm trying to pep myself up, I'm listening to something different. When I'm stressed, I bring on
Okay.
country music and to try to bring myself back in to recenter. What is music? What just the word music? Tell me what that means to you.
I don't know. I'd say freedom. Like I write a lot. I like a lot of poetry and songs, and I sing sometimes.
Okay, we're gonna
Uh,
have to hit some
or
karaoke bars,
no,
sister.
no, no, we're not. Yeah. So, um, whenever I'm sad, happy, any kind of, there's always music playing in my ear at
Yeah.
work when the call lights aren't going off. Um, at home. Um, I haven't written a song in a while, but I have about 5 songs and about 60 poems. So,
Oh, you don't
um,
have any poems on you, do you? Right now, or in your
I can,
head?
no, not, I can send you a couple, but I
Oh no,
can't.
I just was thinking if you had something in your head. I didn't know you
Oh,
did that. I would have
no.
had you throw one out to us, but maybe yeah, we'll add
I
one
would have
to.
if I would have told that maybe sooner, but I can't recite any off the top of my head.
Well, what we'll do is we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put some of your poetry in the show notes if you want to.
Okay.
That could
If
be
you want.
fun. That would be fun, man. I think that's all we have today. I think I need to let this girl go get some rest. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Alyssa, for being on the Dare to Care with Michelle podcast. I
You
love you.
want.
I think that you're a fantastic nurse. I'm excited to watch you grow and continue to see you soar as you always do. I want our audience to remember that caring is cool.